JFK Airport buzzed with morning chaos. Business travelers in sleek suits darted through the terminal, their polished shoes echoing on the tile floor. Overhead, digital boards flashed flight updates, and the scent of coffee wafted from nearby cafes. Grace Wellington moved through the crowd with quiet poise, her simple outfit, a gray sweater, dark jeans, and comfortable sneakers, standing out among the designer-clad elite. Her blonde hair was tied back, and a plain gold wedding band was her only adornment. She approached the Atlantic Airways first-class counter, ticket in hand, excited for a rare vacation with her husband, Edward Sinclair, who was in San Francisco closing a major deal. "Next passenger," called Veronica Palmer, a sharply dressed attendant with flawless makeup and a name tag pinned to her crisp uniform. Grace stepped forward, offering her ticket and ID. "Flight 177 to San Francisco, please," she said politely. Veronica's eyes scanned Grace's casual attire, lingering on her sneakers with a faint smirk. She examined the ticket with exaggerated care. "How did you obtain this?" she asked, her tone dripping with doubt. "My husband booked it," Grace replied, puzzled. Veronica's lips thinned as she typed, her nails clicking. "There's an issue with your reservation. The ticket says first class, but the system doesn't confirm it." Grace kept her composure. "My husband verified it yesterday. There's no mistake." Veronica's smile was patronizing. "Do you have the credit card used for the purchase?" Grace shook her head. "It was my husband's corporate account." Veronica leaned forward, her voice low. "Our first-class service is for premium customers. Perhaps there's been a mix-up." Grace's patience wavered. "There's no mix-up. I have a valid ticket." Two businessmen behind her, their watches gleaming, exchanged amused glances. Veronica's tone turned falsely kind. "I can offer economy. Same destination, different seating." Grace stood taller. "I'm sitting in first class, as my ticket states." Veronica's facade hardened. "Ma'am, I don't appreciate your tone. Would you like my supervisor?" Grace nodded. "Yes, please." Veronica dialed, her eyes locked on Grace. "Richard, we have a situation at counter 3. She hung up, smirking. "Mr. Hargrove will handle this." The line behind Grace grew, and curious onlookers took notice of the tension. Richard Hargrove arrived, his navy suit and gold lapel pin marking him as a senior supervisor. "What's the problem, Veronica?" he asked, his voice smooth. Grace spoke first. "Your colleague thinks I don't belong in first class, despite my valid ticket." Hargrove's eyes flicked over Grace's outfit, his expression tightening. "Mrs. Wellington," Grace said. "Grace Wellington." Hargrove's corporate smile held. "Mrs. Wellington, we have protocols for premium services." "What protocol questions a confirmed ticket?" Grace asked. Hargrove lowered his voice. "We encounter irregularities, people trying to access first class improperly." Grace's jaw clenched. "Are you saying I stole this?" Hargrove backpedaled. "Not at all, but we need verification. A call to your husband, perhaps?" Grace's voice was firm. "This is ridiculous. The ticket is legitimate." Hargrove's smile faded. "Step aside, or we'll involve security." Grace held her ground. "I'm not moving." Hargrove gestured to a nearby officer. "Security!" Officer Miller approached, hand on his belt. "Is there an issue?" he asked, eyeing Grace. Hargrove explained, "This passenger is delaying others by refusing verification." Grace's cheeks flushed. "They're denying my first-class ticket because of my clothes." Miller's expression stayed neutral. "Ma'am, if they need verification, this is discrimination," Grace cut in. Murmurs of agreement rose from the crowd. Hargrove's tone turned cold. "Step aside or take economy." Grace met his gaze. "Fine, I'll make a call." Hargrove smirked. "That won't change our policy." Grace stepped aside, dialing as Veronica called the next passenger with forced cheer. Miller lingered, watching. Grace's call connected. "Rebecca, I need Edward," she said. "One moment," came the crisp reply. Hargrove assumed she was bluffing. Then Edward's voice came through, warm but sharp. "Grace, what's wrong? You should be boarding." Grace turned from prying eyes. "They're refusing my first-class ticket, demanding verification and offering economy." A pause. "Did you tell them who you are?" Edward asked. "No," Grace said. "The ticket should be enough." "Speaker," Edward commanded. Grace tapped the icon. "You're on," Edward's voice boomed. "Who am I speaking with?" Hargrove stepped closer. "Richard Hargrove, supervisor for Atlantic Airways." "Who's this?" "Edward Sinclair, CEO of Sinclair Global Investments." Majority shareholder of Pinnacle Holdings, your parent company. Hargrove paled. Veronica froze. Miller stepped back. Mr. Sinclair? Hargrove stammered. A misunderstanding. No, Edward snapped. My wife showed a valid ticket. You humiliated her over her appearance, correct? The terminal hushed, all eyes on the drama. Hargrove sweated. We have protocols. I fly 200,000 miles yearly with you, Edward cut in. This is discrimination. A bystander whispered, Sinclair Global? Hargrove tried. Let me escort Mrs. Wellington to the lounge. Edward interrupted. I want your regional director, now. Hargrove fumbled with his phone. I'm texting Miss Thompson. Edward pressed. Grace, what happened? Grace met Hargrove's panicked gaze. Veronica questioned my ticket's legitimacy and implied I didn't fit first class. Mr. Hargrove called security to remove me. Veronica's face drained of color. Staff whispered urgently. Victoria Thompson, the regional director, arrived, her face professional but tense. She took the phone. Mr. Sinclair, I'm deeply sorry. Edward was firm. Apologies aren't enough. Act on the staff involved. Thompson nodded. Mr. Hargrove and Miss Palmer are on administrative leave, effective immediately. Veronica gasped. Hargrove gaped. Grace spoke. I want a written apology to all witnesses, acknowledging the discrimination and your corrective steps. Thompson agreed. Of course, Edward added. My wife's wishes will be met. I expect your CEO's call today. Thompson escorted Grace to the Celestial Lounge, apologizing profusely. Inside, passengers stared as Grace settled with a glass of water. Her phone buzzed. Edward texted, You okay? She replied, shaken but fine. See you soon. In San Francisco, the captain announced, Thank you, Mrs. Grace Wellington Sinclair, for flying with us. Grace ignored the stares, disembarking to find Edward and Atlantic's CEO, James Hutchinson. Mrs. Wellington, I'm so sorry, Hutchinson said. Edward added, New bias training is coming. Hutchinson confirmed Hargrove and Veronica's termination. As they left, Edward whispered, Their stock dipped after a viral post. Grace sighed. All because I wore jeans. Edward squeezed her hand. No, because they judged worth by looks. You proved them wrong. Grace's story reminds us to respect everyone, beyond appearances. Share your experiences of unfair judgment below. Like and subscribe for more tales of underestimated people shining. Where are you watching from? True Class is in how we treat others.